I've got opinions that could be controversial. Hi, again. My name's Samantha. I am performing the Unpopular book tag, which was originally created by the book Archer. I will link her video, original video, and her channel down below in the thingy. I'm gonna go through these questions and give you a brief answer as to why I hate the books that you love. I think I'm supposed to give a little disclosure about it's okay that I don't like these books that you love, but I don't know, I think it's funny. So, name a popular book or series that you didn't like. A Man Called Ave by Frederick Bachman. I think I'm the only person in the world that really doesn't care for this book. When I first went through it, I think I listened to this on audio. I found it to be I thought it was trite. That's that. After a few years and thinking about this book, it really bothered me, and I think it's because I actually do know a real live Uwe, and they don't, they're not like that in reality, and it really got to me because I mean they don't have the suicidal tendencies that Uwe did, but it was just, it didn't seem right. It rubbed me the wrong way because I do know someone who's like that. Now, do I recommend it? Yeah, because I think a lot of people like it. They do like it, and I know a lot of other people would like it. So I still recommend it, but I really didn't like it. I really, really didn't like it. So I'm hesitant to start other books by this author. Name a popular book or series everyone hates, but you actually liked. There's a couple. I'm going to give you two answers. One is a popular book series that everyone seems to like, but they all hate the audiobook, and that's The Raven Cycle. You know, everyone that reads it, not everyone, but most people that read it absolutely adore it. And even I, when I first heard this on audio, I was blown aback by the fact that it's Will Patton doing the narration. And I think that people find that startling because the back of the book comes off as something that's going to be kind of Twilighty, but it's very much so not. So you don't expect a middle-aged man to be talking about a bunch of teenagers and their quest to find a ancient king in rural Virginia, but whatever. And it could also be because people who have heard books by Will Patton refer to him as like one of the Stephen King narrators, so it doesn't really jive with them, but it's beside the point. Book I actually liked was The Casual Vacancy by J.K. Rowling. I think when that came out, and I did read it when it came out, I really liked it. I thought it was, I mean, it was gritty, so I think that's something that people weren't really expecting. It's just about a guy and how he really impacted, well, a dead man, but how his death actually impacted the people in a small rural town. And I thought it was well done. I loved how it was written and whatever, but everyone seems to hate on Rowling because she should stay in her lane or whatever. I don't know. I actually liked it, so screw you. A love triangle where the main character ended up with another character you didn't like. I know that everybody says The Hunger Games, and I quite frankly agree. And I feel that Katniss should have ended up with. And this isn't a love triangle, but more recent reads, The Children of Blood and Bones. I absolutely hate. There's two couples that stem from that series, like in that first book, and I absolutely hate both of them. One of them's almost like an insta love thing, and it's just like they're just, I don't care. And then the other one, it just came out of nowhere. It came out of left field, and it was just, what the fuck? I hated it. I just couldn't stand it. A popular book genre that you rarely reach for. I wrote down erotica and porno because I don't ever reach for that. But manga, I just read my first manga at the beginning of this year. A lot of my disinterest in it has to do with the artwork. I'm not a fan of it, so Name a popular or beloved character that you don't like. Juliet Farah, whatever, from the Shatter Me series. I hate her. She's just a pain in the ass, and people talk about how she makes these great strides and has this great story arc, or she changes so much. No, she doesn't. She doesn't change at all. She's a pain in the ass. One-liner. I'm a popular author you can't get into. So there's Cassandra Clare, Sophie Kinsella. I've read one book by her, the Shopaholic book. I couldn't stand it. And Celia Ahern and Danielle Page. They just name a popular book trope you're tired of seeing. I don't know what to call this, but you know when you have pre-established backstories and you're supposed to find some sort of connection to it, but if you have like a death that happens before the story even begins and your character's so distraught about it, I'd have a hard time connecting with that plot line. Pre-establish anything really, and then relationships. If there's a pre-established relationship, it's just a red flag for me that says they're gonna end up breaking up. So, and I'm usually right. So it's just really frustrating, and it doesn't add anything to the story. It's just, it cheapens it in a way. Name a popular series you have no interest in reading. I have a couple that I had started and then I'm never gonna pick up again. So the Colleen Oakes series, The Queen of Hearts, I read the first book. I checked out the second book. I actually hated the first book. It didn't really, there's just so much wrong with it. I just really couldn't stand it. But I am curious about the character arc and like what's gonna happen. I mean, I know how it's gonna end in a way, but I wanted to see how that character formed from this meek person to the Queen of Hearts. And I started the second book and then I went on to Goodreads and decided to look up spoilers, and I'm very glad that I skipped that series because it really wasn't jiving with me when I first started reading it, and I was just like, forget it. So I returned the book and I've been spoiled on it now, so, and I'm not bummed out about it at all. Okay, and then it's the Rosie Project, the Dawn Tillman series. I read the first two books. I had no idea that there was going to be another one, and I think it just came out or is coming out, and I have zero interest in it because the second book in that series really rubbed me the wrong way. It was just very clearly disorganized, and it's like the author had no idea where he was writing, and it no. What movie or TV adaptation do you prefer more than the book? I have a couple. One, most recent, Annihilation. I think that each stands on its own legs, so I wouldn't say that it is much better, but you get so much more out of it, and I feel like there's a lot more symbolism involved with the film because as far as I know, they're not carrying on with the rest of the series, and it was finished in a very different manner and made to be more symbolic of cancer and something along that lines. It seems, and it's very visual world, so that's a situation where you really do need those visual elements to really hold up the story. And then an old one is Blade Runner, which I did see for the first time last year, and I'm talking about the 1980s version with Harrison Ford versus Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep by Philip K. Dick, because I couldn't stand the book very much. I didn't care for the plot, not so much the plot. I didn't like the characters and all of the male gaze. It was just really obnoxious to get through, and for such a short book it took me forever to get through. So the last question actually comes from Jesse the Reader. On his video he asked, what popular book or series were you expecting not to like, and actually ended up liking in the end? And my response to this is the Illuminae Chronicles, or the Illuminae Files. When this book came out, all the popular booktubers hauled this book and started gushing about how it was so glorious and amazing, and I just kept looking at it thinking, oh my god, that looks so gimmicky. But let me tell you, it lives up to the hype. So I was surprised by it, and then every time a new book would come out, I was kind of skeptical about going into it thinking, oh, I am not going to like it as much. But each book just got better and better. And I mean, there's only 3 books, but you know, the second book got better, and then the third book was about the same level as the first one. So it was it's a really solid series, so I recommend it. I'm going to pose that question back at you. So what was a book or series that you read due to peer pressure that you really didn't think that you were going to like, and of course you ended up going with the crowd and you ended up liking it? I would love to know. Leave me a note in the comment section, or tag You're It. I would like you to perform this video tag. I am specifically tagging Gunpowder Fiction and Plot because you guys have tagged me a couple times, and I would like to see your response to this Q&A, and that's it for now. I hope that this was entertaining for you, and I will be seeing you around very soon with another video tag, probably.